well, not everything, but most of the planning part of it planned out for you.
Yeah, they got the ball rolling, set us up well to be able to make our own analysis, and then whatever we tweaked from their plan was just based on the preferences we had for how we wanted to do it.
Okay. The last question I have is, as you said, history is validating the fact that it was a success. But at the time, like you said, the following day, October 16th, did the Marines themselves feel like perhaps maybe the voting wasn't a success in the sense that only what appeared to be 9 Ramadi citizens, or like you said, maybe 50 or so, actually voted?
I don't think the Marines really think of things in those terms. If you asked a Marine the next day, what do you think today of things, he would say, great day. We did this thing we had to do and nobody got hurt or killed. 2 Iraqis got very slightly wounded soldiers. That's predominantly how they view things. It's, first sergeant might have a view of the success of the elections. There's always Marines who are news files or political scientists who have an interest, but that's coincidental based on interest. It's not like as a result of being a Marine. Just like there's several officers who have no interest in that and know as much about it as the average PFC. Part of our challenge, the senior enlisted's challenge, the officer's challenge, as we went further on through the deployment, was to teach the Marines what they were doing, tell them, give them feedback. We've come to call that today our friendly IO campaign, information operations campaign. On October 16th, they were just tired and happy that no one had been hurt. And I think they understood intuitively something. The challenge of leadership we've learned is you have to put into words what is in his head, give him a way to verbalize what he knows to be the truth. And the way that came out at that time was, the enemy is losing. They actively have to shoot to keep people away from participating in the process. And you protected all those people's lives. Practically, that's what they were thinking.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I guess moving on to the second month, November, I understand that there was a significant event that occurred at that time that we had discussed earlier. You felt like kind of turned the tide of the war in Ramadi.
Yeah, tremendously significant and an underreported event occurred on November 28th, 2005. And for the record, none of what I'm saying is classified. It's all either reported in newspapers or just first-person accounts of what occurred. But our battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Turner.
Lieutenant Colonel Turner is still with the battalion now on Ramadi 2 or OAF 2. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
He was approached by local citizens who I would characterize in a colloquial sense as leaders of the insurgency, especially with the knowledge we've gained on this deployment. We're so embedded in the society and we've learned so much that most of what I report in the past from the previous deployment is through the lens of understanding who led the insurgency. I mean, even just specific individuals that we know we work with today, they were leaders of the insurgency. But prominent citizens came forward who we had never met before and said, we desire a meeting at the government center.
And the government center is where Kilo was located.
Right, the provincial government center.
Okay.
Colonel Turner said, okay. And what they said that struck our, was significant in our mind is they said, I'm going to show up with a bunch of people and I want immunity. Nobody gets arrested by you at the government center. So this was bizarre sounding. We said, okay, tell me what don't I understand? And they more or less said, you'll figure it out when you get there. That's secondhand, but that's my recollection. So on November 28th, a bunch of people showed up to the government center. Now, they had made some coordination with Colonel Turner. They probably went to Blue Diamond and engaged the division or the MEF in Fallujah.
Blue Diamond?
That's the base north of here where the Marine Division was headquartered. Ultimately, what occurred was General Casey, U.S. Army, showed up. Ambassador Khalilzad, if my memory serves correctly, came to the Gov Center. They flew out. They met these approximately 200 local people, and they said, more or less, this part is all secondhand, again, through Captain Ash, who was there, through Colonel Turner, who was there. They said, we'll stop the insurgency. And of course, Americans would look at these guys like, oh, are you kidding? You know, what's going on? And they would just look back